So there's another Halloween fan film, and this one is brought to us by writer-director Lorenzo Adams. And he sent me an email saying, hey, you want to check out my film called Halloween 63? It's only about 10 or 11 minutes long, so I was like, yeah, sure, why the hell not? It's on YouTube right now. I think it dropped yesterday. And this is a prequel reimagining, is what I would say. Now, I definitely want to talk spoilers in a minute, but I'll just give you my overall thoughts and then I'm going to discuss spoilers because I don't feel like I can really talk about this without it because it's a short, because we know, the backstory that we got in the original Halloween film. I can only really say how it's different by talking spoilers because it's so short. So, anyways, what did I think about the movie or the short? I think that is I think that it's well shot. I think that it tries unique things, which most fan films that I watch are really just trying to kind of copy or emulate Halloween, and they're doing not a very good job, honestly. I've never watched a Halloween fan film that I've liked all that much. And what I respected about this one is that this director wanted to do their own thing. So I think that's what I respect most because I wrote a Halloween fan film and it was like a sister sequel and it didn't even have Michael Myers in the damn movie. Right? I like unique stories. I like taking things in different directions. I did find elements of it to be confusing for sure. And I wasn't a huge fan of how the dialogue was written and delivered, but I do think that was an attempt to try to be like 1960s acting and dialogue, which I'm not a fan of, so that's probably why. Um, but I didn't hate that. I think it's a well-made fan film for sure. I was actually pretty impressed by the quality that the film feels like. So I'll give them kudos there, and I will give them kudos for doing something unique. So I think if you're a big fan of the Halloween franchise, you should give it your 10 minutes and give it a shot because I think there's some interesting things going on in here. And as of right now, having only, been out a day, the thing only has like 500 views. So I think that's criminal. And I absolutely hope that this gets more views. And that's literally why I'm doing this. So as far as the spoilers go, if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. Come right back in 10 minutes. Okay. So we obviously are changing things quite drastically here. There is some kind of connection to the original. It's Judith, it's Michael, it's Halloween night, he kills her, right? That's all the same. Pretty much everything else is different. So she's not at home with her boyfriend and Michael's out. They changed they changed quite a bit. And I'm not really sure about some of the changes, and some of it is fairly confusing to me. So obvious things out of the way. Judith's boyfriend does not come over. It is instead her friend that comes over. Judith is 18 years old in this instead of 15 years old like she is in the original. Michael's 11 instead of 6, so they aged him up quite a bit. Maybe that was just who they had available to them as actors. I don't know why the change of age, what that is. They just got back from trick-or-treating, but they also said it was like 11:54 at night or something. Who gets back from trick-or-treating at almost midnight with an 11-year-old? This is not a thing. Maybe in the 60s it was, but no, even in the 60s it seems like it would be even earlier. But anyway, that's just like a silly little nitpick. So one thing I was really confused about, because of course there's some kind of like supernatural connection to who Michael's supposed to become. And the sister's friend comes over, and you could just be like, okay, well, Michael's doing the killing, and we're seeing adult Myers with him, but it's actually him, because they do show that scene where he's killing Judith, and it keeps flashing back and forth. Like we see the arm coming down is the kid Myers, but the physical body in front of her that we keep cutting back to from is the adult size Myers, right? So you're just like you're led to be believed that Myers is, taking on the preemptive mantle of who he's going to become in that scene. But the previous scene with the friend downstairs, Michael, 11-year-old Michael, lifts her up off the ground and is holding her pretty high. So physically, 11-year-old Michael could not lift this girl up. Now, could he have supernatural strength? Is Myers like coming in and out of his body? Like, is he swapping with him? That's where I'm completely confused. Because you could just make it to where Myers is just like he's seeing, but he talks to himself at the end, like he knows who he's going to become. But then at the end, it just does the crawl, almost very similar to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it gives the details of what happened that night and that the parents hadn't been contacted. But I guess we're just saying that's what happened that night, right? Because it says the parents haven't been contacted. But like, at what point is this this text narration set in? It's set in like a police report. That's what that is, right? That's a police report, because it comes off like it's saying it like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Where it's saying it's one of the most bizarre and grisly crimes in the annals of American history. Like it's something that happened a while ago. And this wouldn't make sense because the parents haven't been contacted yet. But what I'm getting at is that it's not suggesting that Michael breaks out again later in 78 when he is 26. I guess they aged him up quite a bit. But whatever. Or 25. Yeah, 25. I don't know. So that was kind of confusing to me. I was like, is this still going to bleed into an alternate reality Halloween 78? And that Michael's going to break out and become the guy that we see killing his sister and her friend? So I don't know. That's all super confusing to me. I don't understand what's going on with Michael old and young in this movie, or older and young in this movie. That's the biggest confusion to me. I think that had he not lifted her off the ground and we just kind of did these match cuts to where it's like, oh, it's just him seeing himself in the future. But that definitely suggests supernatural. He knows who he's going to become. As far as the Myers outfit in this, I know that they got like a Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 78 mask and they used it for Myers in this. I don't like it. I don't like the Trick or Treat mask for this one particularly. I've looked at it in person, not a fan of it. I prefer the Halloween 2 mask that they make with the tan neckline. I don't know. I just like that one. And the hair on all of these masks are horrid. And it stands out really bad here when he does like overhead shots. I also don't like how Michael is framed in this. So I'm not a huge fan of how adult Myers is handled in this. I don't like how he looks. I don't like how he's shot. And I don't understand how he's connected to the young Myers. So that's really my main critiques. It's an 11-minute thing, so there's not really much to say here. But I do like this idea because I would say this one is similar in idea, and we'll see if he likes the connection. But this reminded me most, if I was connected to anything that's been made, would be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, right? Where old Myers, hobo Myers, is connecting with young Myers and they have some kind of destiny together and the mom's there, right? But we see a shot of like old, like hobo Myers, old adult Myers and young Myers like standing in front of one another. Like he's standing behind him and the kid's standing in front of him, and they're doing things together. This is very similar to that idea. So in that, and I like that Michael says something. I am a big fan that the kid actually speaks when she's like, it's time to turn the TV off, and he's like, oh, just one more minute or whatever. That I do like. I like that he does speak, so that when he doesn't ever speak again, when they say in the end, like he never spoke a word again, it's like, oh, that's that's something to us now. Now, because we saw him speak, him not speaking when we never saw him speak really isn't a big deal. But in the Rob Zombie movies, he speaks all the time. And then we see this slow degradation of like his psyche as he's talking to Loomis and everything. And then he gets to a place where he's like, his mom is trying to come and he's like, put my mask on. Please put my mask back on. And then Loomis, he's just talking less and less. And then finally he just stops talking. And to me, that's way more interesting. It's like, why did he stop talking? Versus in the original where he just never talks. Now, the original is perfect and I love it. But with all the sequels, it just becomes boring. It just becomes Myers is just becoming, he's like a supernatural element. I compared the Halloween franchise at this point to a disaster movie. That is what it becomes. It's very much Loomis is that scientist who's telling everyone that the end of the world is coming, the asteroid's coming. No one believes him, and then Myers is the meteor. He's the the earthquake, the whatever the hell. He doesn't have character anymore. He's just a natural disaster. And I don't know. Do you find the earthquake itself in like an earthquake movie like a cool character? It just it just isn't anymore. So to see Michael actually have character development in here of some sort, where he's connecting with his future self, and he's like whispering to him, and we're seeing flash cuts, and of course also it reminds me of Rob Zombie's original Halloween movie where the boyfriend brings over the Myers mask, and Myers puts that on to kill Judith, and he's wearing his clown costume with the original mask. So this, as I said, this is more likened to zombies. We'll see if he's a fan of zombies, but this is definitely what it reminds me most of. Okay, that's it. I spoke enough on this one. So definitely check it out. I hope you already did if you're here watching this, and let me know what you thought. And I'm sure the director is going to be watching this, so let me know down in the comments what was going on. How you don't have to explain your fucking movie. I'm just trying to, you can message me personally if you want, or tell me to get bent or whatever. But I watched it. I talked about it. I hope you guys check it out. I hope you already checked it out. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. And yeah, bye.